If you're over 60, 70, or even 80 and feel your strength slipping away even though you eat well, stop everything and listen closely. This message is especially for anyone trying muscle building for seniors but not seeing real results. Many older adults think it's normal to lose strength, yet the truth is far more surprising. What you're feeling isn't about age, it's about how your body processes protein for elderly muscle. Most people don't realize that after a certain age, you can eat plenty but still fail to build muscle after 80. Your muscles aren't getting what they need, even when you think you're eating enough protein. And once you understand why this happens, everything about your strength starts to make sense. The real issue isn't weak foods or weak workouts, it's weak absorption. Older bodies simply don't activate the same muscle-building pathways younger people do. This is why muscle building for seniors often feels impossible, even for those trying hard. But here's the surprising part: it has nothing to do with being too old. The problem is that most seniors consume the wrong type of protein for elderly muscle activation. Your body is trying to build muscle but doesn't get the signal it needs to start the process. And once you discover what actually turns that switch on, your strength can change incredibly fast. So if you've been eating eggs, chicken, or even protein shakes and still notice your muscles shrinking in your legs or arms, don't blame age. The real blocker is the kind of protein your body can no longer break down the way it used to. This is why so many people struggle to build muscle after 80, even when they're trying their best. But there's a simple reason behind all this that almost no one talks about. A reason that explains why some seniors regain strength quickly while others keep losing it. And once you see what's actually happening inside your muscles, everything becomes crystal clear. Because the moment you understand this hidden mechanism, you'll finally see why your results have been stuck and what unlocks them next. If you've been eating protein, eggs, chicken, or beef and still notice your muscles shrinking, you're exactly who I'm talking to. That loss of firmness in your legs or arms isn't your imagination, it's a real signal your body is sending. Many seniors try muscle building for seniors routines but see very little change, and it feels confusing because you're doing what everyone says, just eat more protein, yet your body isn't responding the way it should, no matter how hard you try. This isn't about motivation or discipline, it's about biology. A silent shift happens inside the body as the decades pass, and this shift explains why your muscles aren't cooperating the way they used to. If standing up from a chair or climbing stairs feels harder than before, it's not just aging, it's your muscle fibers not receiving the nutrients needed to stay strong. Even when you focus on protein for elderly muscle, your body may not absorb it properly. This makes everyday movements require more effort, even when you eat right. The foods that used to work no longer deliver the same effect on your muscles, and that's why you feel your strength slipping little by little. But this loss of response follows a predictable pattern many don't know about, and once you understand it, everything that felt confusing suddenly becomes clear. Maybe you simply want to feel firmness in your legs again or grip objects with confidence. Maybe you want your arms to stop thinning or your steps to feel steady like before. These goals are completely possible, but only with the right approach. Traditional protein sources don't activate the same pathways in seniors as they do in younger adults. This is why build muscle after 80 feels impossible for so many people. Your body is still capable, but it needs a different kind of support. And once you provide the right type of protein, your muscles can respond quickly. But first, you need to understand what's blocking that response. If you've ever said, "I'm eating enough but nothing changes," you're not alone. Millions of seniors experience the same frustration because they're missing one key detail. Your body isn't digesting and absorbing protein the way it used to. That's the real issue. So every meal feels like it should work, but the results never show up. It's not fair, and it's not your fault. It's a biological shift most people never hear about. This shift disrupts muscle growth after 60, even when you do everything right. But once you understand how this process works, the solution becomes obvious, and that solution is much simpler than most people expect. If you want stronger legs, firmer arms, better balance, and more confidence in your daily life, you're not asking for anything unrealistic. Your body can still deliver that. It just needs protein your system can actually break down and use effectively. Because without that, no diet or meal plan will activate your muscle-building switch. But when the right type of protein enters the picture, everything changes fast. Movements get easier, energy increases, and firmness slowly returns. Many seniors have already experienced this shift once they corrected one single mistake, and understanding this mistake is the key to what comes next. I used to believe that once you crossed 60, the body simply stopped responding. No matter how much protein I ate, how carefully I tried to stay active, nothing changed. My muscles felt softer, my balance was different, and basic movements felt heavier. I thought this was just a normal part of aging, something unavoidable. But deep down, I kept wondering why doing everything right wasn't working. How could I be eating better than ever, yet feeling weaker every month? It was like my body no longer recognized the protein I gave it, and that question pushed me to search for a real explanation. Everything changed the day I discovered that seniors don't absorb protein the same way anymore, not because of bad habits, but because of a quiet biological shift almost no one mentions, a shift that reduces how much protein actually reaches your muscles, no matter what the source. So even if you eat eggs, chicken, or beef, your muscles may still be starving for nutrients. This wasn't about eating more, it was about absorbing better, and suddenly all the frustration many older adults feel made perfect sense. The body can absolutely grow muscle later in life, but only with the right conditions, and that realization opened the door to everything that came next. I began noticing the same pattern in everyone I talked to. People eating well, trying hard, staying consistent, yet still losing strength. They all said the same thing: I'm doing everything right, but nothing works. And for years, they blamed age when the real cause was completely different. The aging body stops activating the pathways that turn protein into usable strength. It's not weakness or lack of effort, it's the muscle-building switch turning off. And once I understood this, everything about senior muscle loss became clearer. But it also led me to an even more important discovery. Because once I dug deeper, I learned that the problem wasn't permanent. There is a way for seniors to reactivate those muscle-building pathways, even past 70 or 80. Not through harder workouts, but through smarter forms of protein absorption. Once this switch is turned back on, strength returns faster than you'd expect. Daily movements get lighter, energy increases, and firmness slowly returns. Many seniors have already experienced this shift once they corrected one single mistake, and understanding this mistake is the key to what comes next. This mechanism controls how effectively your muscles hear the message to grow. It explains why two people can eat the same foods, yet only one gains strength. It also shows why traditional protein stops working for older adults. Once this mechanism weakens, the body can't use protein the way it used to. But when you supply the one thing that reactivates it, everything changes rapidly. Muscles respond again, energy increases, and strength finally returns. And this mechanism is exactly what I'm about to reveal next, because it changes everything. And once you see how it works, you'll finally see why your results have been stuck and what unlocks them next.
That's when I came across something completely unexpected. A simple, inexpensive holiday food seniors already enjoy every year. A food most people never think of as muscle fuel, yet it helps older adults absorb protein far more efficiently. It wasn't a supplement, a powder, or anything complicated. It was unbelievably ordinary. And the moment I understood why this food works so well for seniors, everything clicked. It wasn't about adding more protein, but helping the body use it correctly. This small discovery opened the door to a whole new approach to senior strength. But before I reveal what that food is, there's something even more important to understand. Because without knowing the real cause behind stalled muscle growth, the solution won't make full sense. See, most people assume muscle loss after 60 is just aging, but that's not what's happening at all. The real issue is a specific internal process that slows down dramatically with time. This slowdown makes your body less responsive to the protein you eat, no matter the source. So even healthy meals can't deliver the results you expect, leaving your muscles underfed. And this explains why traditional advice stops working for older adults so suddenly. But the holiday food I discovered fits perfectly into this gap because of its unique structure. It supports the very process seniors struggle with the most: protein utilization. But before I reveal how, you need to see what actually blocks your strength in the first place. Because the truth is, your muscles aren't ignoring your protein because they want to, they're not receiving a clear signal. There's a specific activation step inside the body that weakens over the years. When this step isn't triggered, your muscles simply can't use protein efficiently. And that's why so many seniors eat well, yet still feel weaker each month. This is the part almost no one talks about, yet it's the heart of the entire problem. Once you understand what disrupts this activation, you're halfway to the solution. And surprisingly, that simple Christmas food naturally supports this exact step. But to see why it works so well, you first need to understand the blockage itself. This blockage is the hidden reason behind stalled muscle strength, declining firmness, and slower recovery. It's why exercises feel harder, why daily movement requires more effort, and why progress often feels impossible. The body is capable, it just needs the right environment to respond again. And when that environment is restored, senior muscles can grow much faster than most people imagine. That's where the unique nutrients in this holiday food come into play. They help your body unlock a process you rely on for building and maintaining strength. But revealing the food without explaining this mechanism would only tell half the story. Because the real key is understanding why your body needs this support in the first place. And as I kept digging deeper, I realized this wasn't just about food. It was about targeting a specific weakness inside the aging body. A weakness that makes traditional protein nearly useless for many seniors. Fixing this weakness is the turning point older adults have been waiting for. And once it's addressed, even small adjustments to your diet create noticeable changes. That's why this simple holiday food caught my attention. It works with the body, not against it. But before I reveal exactly what it is and how it helps seniors absorb protein better, you need to understand the internal mechanism that determines whether your muscles use protein or waste it. Because once you see this mechanism clearly, the entire solution becomes impossible to ignore. Your body works like a door, and this door only opens when a specific receptor is fully activated. This receptor is responsible for telling your muscles, yes, it's time to grow. Use this protein now. But after you pass 60, this receptor becomes sluggish, almost sleepy. It doesn't open with the same speed or strength it had decades ago. So even when you eat protein-rich foods, the message doesn't reach your muscles correctly. The problem isn't the protein itself, it's the signal that fails to unlock the door. And that one change inside the body creates the illusion that muscle growth is impossible, when in reality, the door just needs the right key to open again. Think of it like trying to water your garden with a hose that's bent in half. The water is there, the pressure is there, and the effort is there, but nothing reaches the plants. Your muscles are those plants, and your diet is the water. But if the hose, your receptor, is blocked or weakened, the nourishment can't get through. This explains why seniors can eat plenty of protein but still lose firmness and strength. It's not that the protein disappears, it simply fails to reach the muscle cells. This metaphor is exactly what happens inside the aging body every single day. And once you straighten the hose, everything starts flowing again. What's even more interesting is how predictable this slowdown becomes after a certain age. The receptor doesn't shut off completely, but its activation threshold rises. That means your body needs the right type of protein to trigger it effectively. Traditional sources like eggs or meat don't always provide the compounds that seniors absorb well. So the body receives the food but can't convert it into usable energy or muscle support. The signal stays weak and the muscle-building door barely cracks open. But when the receptor is activated fully, seniors can build muscles surprisingly fast. And that activation depends on one crucial detail most people overlook. Here's where things get even more revealing. Studies show that certain amino acids and natural peptides are actually absorbed better by seniors than by younger adults. This goes against everything people assume about aging and muscle loss. It means older bodies aren't too old to grow, they just need the right inputs. These specific proteins act like the perfect key for the weakened receptor. They help straighten the bent hose and let nourishment finally reach your muscles. And that small shift can restore strength faster than most seniors ever expect. Because once absorption improves, everything else begins to change. This is the part that finally connects all the dots. Your muscles aren't struggling because they're old, they're struggling because the gatekeeper, that receptor, isn't being properly activated. But with the right amino acid profile, the door opens wider and the hose flows cleanly. Protein reaches the muscles, strength returns, and daily movements feel lighter. It's not magic, it's simply giving your body what it can still use efficiently. And this explains why some seniors rebuild muscle quickly while others see zero results. Because the difference comes down to activating this receptor the right way. And once you understand this mechanism, the next step becomes incredibly obvious. And this is exactly why that simple, inexpensive Christmas-time food works so incredibly well. Most people see it as a holiday tradition, not as a powerful muscle-supporting protein source. But inside it, there's a natural blend of light, easily processed proteins seniors absorb far better. These proteins bypass many of the limitations of the aging receptor. They activate the muscle-building door without forcing your body to work harder. This means the protein you eat finally gets used the way it should. Strength, firmness, and stability stop declining and begin rising again. All because of a food you've probably eaten your entire life. What makes this food even more surprising is how efficiently it works in older bodies. Its proteins break down faster, travel easier, and activate the receptor more consistently. Unlike heavier sources like red meat, it doesn't overload your digestion. The body absorbs what it needs without wasting time or energy. That's why many seniors report noticeable improvements in stability and muscle tone. Not because they're eating more, but because they're finally absorbing right. It's a game changer once you understand how this mechanism works internally. And it's something almost no one talks about during the holidays. But here's where the real opportunity opens up. This food is only the first step. It proves that your muscles can respond, that the receptor can still activate. Once you see that your body is capable, the next question becomes obvious. What if you could deliver those same efficient proteins in a more concentrated form? What if you could activate the receptor daily, not just during holidays? That's where the real transformation begins for most seniors, because consistency amplifies results in a way that surprises people every time. And once that door stays open, everything starts changing faster.
Knowing this, I created a combination of supplements specifically for seniors who want stronger and more reliable activation of that receptor. These supplements contain the same types of light proteins and peptides found in that Christmas food, but with far higher purity and absorption. This means your muscles receive exactly what they respond to best, without guessing, without needing huge meals, and without complicated routines. It's a direct, simple path to rebuilding strength after 60 by supporting the mechanism your body still depends on. For those who want consistent, visible results, this is the moment to take the next step. I placed the full combination, explained in detail, in the first pinned comment. There you'll see how each part supports the receptor, increases absorption, and helps seniors regain firmness naturally. Once your body receives the right proteins, improvement follows quickly.
This is the turning point for so many people who thought muscle loss was permanent, and understanding why makes the next part even clearer. When people hear that seniors over 60, 70, and even 80 are rebuilding strength, many think it's exaggerated. But the strongest proof comes from real people who tried this approach themselves. People who once felt weak, unstable, and frustrated. One woman in her 70s said, "I finally feel firmness returning to my legs." She had tried eating more protein for years without results, until this method activated her receptor again. Her stability returned along with her confidence. Another man said, "My shirts don't hang loose around my arms anymore." He didn't lift weights or change his diet drastically. He simply gave his body the proteins it absorbs best after 60. Once absorption improved, his arms began to fill out naturally again. This happens constantly because the mechanism is the same for everyone. When the receptor activates, the body finally responds the way it should. An 82-year-old told us, "Now I have real energy to walk again." For years, he felt drained just getting out of bed, assuming age was to blame. But the real issue was his decreased ability to use protein efficiently. After supporting the receptor, his energy returned and his legs stopped feeling unstable. For the first time in years, he felt in control. These shifts happen because muscles don't need youth, they need the right fuel delivered correctly. What all these seniors have in common is how long they believed decline was inevitable. Each thought they were too old or too late, but once they understood how the receptor works, everything clicked. It wasn't their effort, it was the type of protein their body could no longer process. Once that barrier disappeared, progress returned naturally. Strength increased in ways they didn't expect at their age, without extreme diets or intense workouts. This proves a simple truth. Your age does not determine your strength, your receptor activity does. Many of the people who got impressive results once felt skeptical and frustrated, just like you may feel now. But once the receptor wakes up, the body responds immediately. And that leads to the part most seniors never hear: how to maintain this progress long term. You do not need heavy weights to rebuild muscle after 60. You do not need huge meals or extreme diets. Most seniors struggle because they're using the wrong protein. Your body no longer responds the way it did when you were younger. It doesn't need more food, it needs the right fuel. When you give it protein it can truly absorb, everything shifts. That's when strength returns faster than expected. The goal isn't to push your body, it's to activate it. And activation happens when your protein source matches how the senior body works. This is why so many older adults see changes without intense workouts. Once you switch to the right protein, the body rebuilds automatically. Arms feel firmer, legs feel steadier, and movements feel lighter because you're finally giving your muscles what they've been missing. Imagine getting up from a chair without that slow, shaky push. Imagine walking confidently because your muscles respond again. These changes come from fueling correctly, not from the gym. Strong muscles are built in the kitchen with the right protein. When absorption improves, balance becomes steadier, grip gets stronger, and everyday tasks feel easier. You're not forcing strength, you're restoring what was blocked for years. That's where true transformation begins, not with power, but with independence. When seniors switch to absorbable protein, strength returns naturally, and with that strength comes mobility, stability, and confidence. This method is changing lives because it doesn't push your body, it supports it. It restores stability and brings back control in a way no workout ever could. And when that happens, the results speak for themselves. Strength returns, stability returns, independence returns, often faster than expected. That's the true change seniors experience when the right protein finally reaches their muscles. This leads directly to the next step, how to accelerate these results even more, and that's exactly what comes next. So, if you want to rebuild your muscles and regain real strength, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, now is the perfect moment. You don't need harsh workouts or massive amounts of food. You just need protein your body can absorb at your age. That's why I placed the complete combination, the same one hundreds of seniors are using, in the first pinned comment. It's safe, simple, and designed for elderly muscle absorption. This isn't about getting big, it's about getting stable again. It's about helping your body respond the way it used to. This combination works because it supports the receptor responsible for muscle activation, the same receptor that becomes sluggish after 60. By giving your body the proteins and amino acids it absorbs best, that receptor wakes up. Once it activates, strength returns quickly. Many seniors report firmer arms and legs within weeks, not from training harder, but from finally giving their bodies the right tools. Imagine entering the next year with a stronger, more stable body, feeling confident when you walk, stand, or climb stairs. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the natural result of giving your muscles what they've been missing. Hundreds of seniors are experiencing this transformation right now, and your turn begins the moment you click the link. Your future doesn't have to look weaker or slower. You deserve independence, and that's why I created this combination. You don't need to guess or experiment. You can follow a proven path designed specifically for the senior body. And it all starts with the link in the first pinned comment. So click the link now to secure your supplement combination while it's still available. This decision could transform the way your body feels every day. If this video helped you understand your muscles better, take a moment to like, comment your age or goal, and subscribe so you don't miss the next steps. Your engagement helps more seniors discover this solution. Click the link, don't wait. The sooner you support your muscles correctly, the sooner your strength returns. You're not too old and it's not too late. Give your body the right fuel, take the first step, and remember, your transformation can start today.